Hello guys, a little bit of updates for you. I had downloaded a surprise for us and I was going to play Russian Coasters VR free because everybody was so pumped about it and it was so good. I just left a 1-star review because there was one part I couldn't get over. And maybe that's me being too culturally sensitive where maybe it's none of my business, but there are no black people in the Andes Mountains running around dressed as African warriors. I can tell you that right now. In fact, if you would bother to Google Andes Mountains and like Google Native people, you would see a lot of people running around in pretty close to winter gear because it's freaking cold. Yeah, and you would see that people from South America, where the Andes Mountains actually are beautiful and they come in every color of the rainbow, but one of those colors is not African stereotype. In this game, in this roller coaster, where they clearly used all the free assets they could get their hands on, there are these, I guess they're supposed to be Maasai, because that's the closest tribe I can think of that they're trying to imitate, even though the clothing is all wrong. Forgive me for this description. Black people in loincloths shaking spears at you. Then you go forward a little bit. I'm so sorry. You go forward a little bit, and there are black people also in loincloths playing drums. They all looking at you because they're fierce African warriors in the Andes. Yeah, I am like the only person to play that game that noticed that. I'm like, what the hell is an African tribe doing in the Andes? And it really bothered me because it's kind of like casual racism. Like, who could possibly be bothered by black people running around in loincloths, shaking spears, and playing drums? Not that this does not still happen in ceremonies in Africa, but there's a big difference between honoring that this happens in certain tribes and showing like the proper, clothing and drums and everything, because that's like really important. You guys know I work with the African diaspora. People get really pissed off if you have the wrong drums or you have like the wrong cloth or something. So there's a big difference between showing that and just showing random black people running around in loincloths and pounding on drums and shaking spears at you, and they have these big old eyes, like those stereotypical eyes in the movies when they first finally allow black actors to act, how they do those big old pop eyes. They all got those eyes, but they're permanent. They're like this big, and there's these little black people in the middle, and I'm like, oh. And I even uninstalled it because I'm like, holy crap, I played the other coasters because I paid for it, and like the space coaster is crap, and the castle coaster was okay, and the other zombie coaster was okay. But they were just okay. They weren't like, woohoo, coaster. That was the only Disney coaster, and it had that in it, and I'm like, I cannot play this on my channel, but you guys tell me, am I being too overly sensitive? I know in some countries they're like, what is your problem, America? You people are so sensitive, but to me it was like, I'm the only reviewer I know of that pointed out that there are no black African tribes in running around South America. Maybe if there's an outside chance that, some slaves have freed themselves like they did in the Haitian Revolution, but they're probably still not going to look like they did in this game. I mean, it's 2018. What time is this game even set in? Yeah, I'm like, I don't expect you to be historically accurate, but when you're Disney wrong, I have a problem with it. And I'm not bashing Disney, but you know what I mean. Disney would be like, sure, there are African tribes of the Andes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We did our research. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was strange. Maybe they're there for a cultural exchange program. Let's try to make something positive out of this. But yeah, when I just saw them playing the drums and shaking the spears and you fly over fire pits, that it kind of felt like the moral was they were going to cook you in the fire pit. I was like, my eyes were rolling up in the back of my head. And Ogo's there like, look at them black people, ain't that interesting? And I'm like, oh god, Papa. So yeah, and any god that isn't from Africa is keeping their mouth shut. They're just looking at them like, they're really black, aren't they? I'm like this microphone black, not yeah, not like brown skinned people or like different shades. They were this shade of black, but since the light was hitting them, they kind of went more like ash gray, like very sick looking zombie people. At first, I thought they were supposed to be zombies because they had those huge eyes and those little black pupils. And I'm like, are they zombies? Is this a zombie thing? I could almost vaguely get behind that. But it just felt like the very racist stereotypes that when they did let black actors into Hollywood, you know, how everybody was playing a maid or a doorman or getting turned into a zombie or feet don't fail me now. It had that kind of vibe to me, but maybe I'm overreacting. But anyhow, the gift I told you I got for Jesus shipped. It could be here anywhere from Friday to next Monday. They are like being very vague. They're like going for Saturday, but then they're saying Friday, and then they're saying Monday. It depends who you ask. If you ask eBay, depending on what time of day you ask them, they're like, oh, Friday. No, we meant Saturday. No, we meant Monday. So it'll be here eventually. And yeah, it was just, I wanted to run that by you before I would even attempt to play something like that on this channel. I'm sure I've been told, you know, I watch a lot of videos and they say like white people do stuff that they don't even realize they're doing it and then it's racist and it's offensive. I don't want to be that person because I know growing up, we were always called you people, meaning, there are different classes of white around here. It's really hard to explain, but there are you people and then there's white people. And it's weird. So I know what it feels like getting it directed towards you for like being like Italian or German or Polish. You were considered always called like dirty blood and dirty skin and stuff like that. And to me, there's no difference. I couldn't tell you someone's Polish, Italian, English, whatever. I really can't tell. But, you know, I know what it's like to have it directed towards you, so I did not want to play it on this channel and have people go, oh my god, why is she playing a game where they're playing drums and running around in loincloths and shaking their spears at you? Because it did not feel like it was done in a way to honor African tribes. And again, it's set in the Andes Mountains. I'm like, what the hell? This is in the Andes Mountains. Why aren't there the beautiful people that are indigenous to the Andes in this game? Oh, God. So, yeah, and I do have a problem. I draw the line when your mascot's a human. If it would have been animals, it would have been so awesome. Even if it would have got the animals wrong and they would have been African animals, I wouldn't have cared. But having a human as your mascot is kind of hinky. It's like, if the people themselves don't have a problem, that's cool. But it was like, yeah, for me, that's borderline. If the only people who could really judge would be people of color, if they played this and thought like, ha, that's actually funny, then, you know, fine, cool. But for me, I was like, I don't want to put that out there that, like, oh yeah, casual racism, I love it, it's great. So you guys let me know what you think, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.